What up, everybody? Live stream, 11 o'clock a.m., prepping for the early slate. Weird day today. Slates are all broken up, but you're getting solo Josh for an hour-ish. We'll see where we end up. Waiting for the trickle in of everybody. I love these solo shows sometimes. Not that I don't love my partners in crime, but sometimes I like to go old school. Where y'all at, people? Get in here. Get on in here. Boom. Live. Boom. Live. What's going on, people? What is up? What up, Steven? Truan, I'm not answering your questions, man. You wrote on that night shift video being like, I'd rather have Jake. That's mean as shit. I'm running my first DraftKings crunch right now for the morning stuff, so we're gonna go over it all together. Thanks, Wayne. What up, Keith? It was hard to talk about the slate today. FanDuel looks different than DK. The main slate sucks. I didn't have much to say last night. Honestly, I was a little tired. Probably heard it in my voice too. These slates are ridiculous today. Oh man. Ooh, Pirates lineup's out. I guess I could add that in. Night could have gone better. Before those 10 o'clock games, I was sitting in first in a GPP, but I tumbled a little bit. So I was down a little bit. Kind of a bummer. Yeah, Jake is a monster with the stats, man. He looks at way more than I do, that's for sure. I mean that in a good way. Oh boy, this slate today is just dog shit. Between DK not including the 12 o'clock game, FanDuel not including the 4 o'clock games, the night slate being just dreadful. I hate this stuff. It's too many different things that, like, you have to have 3 unique opinions. It's hard to keep all that up in the think piece. Oh man, I've had way too much coffee at this point today. Ooh. Oh boy. Let's get this DK crunch in, and then we can do some questions and stuff, since we should have plenty of time to just mess around. Not playing any of the early slate on FanDuel. No tournaments that tickled my fancy, so it's all DK. Good deal, DFS Pro. I hope that's a good thing, at least. Alright, early slate, DK. Let's do it. Yeah, this is the second big Yeti mug of it that I've had, so. Morning, Greek. Although, more like brunch at this point. Phillies lineup apparently coming out in the next couple seconds. Cool. Thanks for the pressure, Fernando. Ugh. Yeah, we'll hang out until like 12 o'clock. Not that I'm aware of, DFS bro. Is my volume cutting out for everybody, or is that just Aaron? Kind of concerning. Yeah, I did not like Bauer yesterday from a price point, but he did make for a nice GPP contrarian play, that's for sure. Wait. Sorry, Aaron. That one's on you. All right, let's take a peek at what we're getting. First DK crunch on the early slate. Let's pull out all those other games that we don't need. Pull out everything from the night slate. So we're looking at Indians, Red Sox, and Cardinals right now as my top 3 stacks, and that sort of jives with what we're projecting from an ownership perspective. They're looking like they're going to be the 3 chalkiest stacks on DK as well. If we're talking pitching, looks like I'm going to be over the field on Blake Snell and Dan Straley and Arrieta. Looks like I'm going to be quite under on Kevin Gausman and Tyson Ross. Looks like Lester and David Price will be the 2 chalkiest guys of the slate. So now let's break this stuff down. I mean, I guess should I run a FanDuel crunch as well? I don't. This stupid FanDuel slate, man. FanDuel slate is about as annoying as it gets. Let's check this Phillies lineup first. Hernandez, Hoskins, Herrera, Santana, Altherr, Kingery. Ooh, I got JP Crawford, so gonna need to rerun that at some point. Won't matter too much right now. Oh, that hurts, Fernando. Yeah, that's 5-game early slate on FanDuel, man. They're really fucking shit up. It's really, really just not smart on their. Like, I don't know why they would want to do that. All right, let's run some 5-game FanDuel crunches as well, so I have some info on the back end. Ooh, it is hot as shit in my office right now. Give me a second, I'm opening the door. Get some airflow. Wife took the puppy dogs to doggy daycare, so that's exciting. Nope, there's the Blue Jays lineup. Granderson. Nope. Already different. No Granderson leading off. That's a big one. He would have been a chalky play this morning. Two separate dogs. A boxer and a pug. Yeah, no guest appearances from the puppies today. They are not home. I'm alone at the house. Work. Let's take a look at some FanDuel. God, this slate sucks. Had the potential to be good, too. That's the worst part. FanDuel's just ruining everything. Yeah, man, the Indians look quite tasty. Let's take a peek at them, just straight up. Let's refilter this. Take out you and you. And yeah, it's going to be really hard to not have a ton of Indians. 5.1 run implied total, 60% chance to win. Tigers have been so bad against righties this year. I can't imagine not having like an absolute ton of Indians. You want a second baseman. Okay, I can handle that. Best second baseman for me is Dozier. Dozier, Carpenter. Best second baseman on the slate is probably Peterson. 2,000 on FanDuel, 2,800 on DK. I mean, I know I mentioned him on the night shift last night. Let's take a look and see what FanDuel is going to look like. I just came for the dogs. Man, that makes me sad. Nobody comes for the Josh. You get Saturday Chubster. Never happens. Whoop. Stop. Stop. DJ Dog, I'm going to jump in and out of some games once I get these crunches in. I'm not going to go game by game. The slates are too unique. So, like, talking about a specific game is kind of weird in context with some being in each slate. So, I'm just going to hit, like, the places that I'm going to be the most. I think that's a little bit more logical for a day like today. Fact that, I can't understand why they have just such diametrically opposite slates today. But, whatevers. Not main, early only. Alright, there's 2 crunches. Now we can talk. It only took 15 minutes. Peterson's way more than a flyer, buddy. 2, 3, 4, 5. Alrighty, so this is now set up for... That cannot be right. Either I'm wrong somewhere or our ownership projections are wrong. Because there is no way the Nats are going to be 1% owned. So my top stacks for FanDuel, we're looking at Angels, Nats, Blue Jays, Orioles. Top stacks on DK, Indians, Red Sox, Cardinals. So that's why it's really hard to like go through game by game. Everything's super different. Okay. Let's take a look at a couple games, I guess. Pitching, man, I can't imagine not wanting to be on David Price. Looks like I'm really, really heavy on Arrieta today. On FanDuel and on DK. DK. I get it. I mean, why would any Brewers 3.9 run implied total? Nothing special against righties. I like it. Who do I like from the Nats? Eaton, Turner, and Harper for sure. 1, 2, 3, 4 looks really good. I don't mind Soto. I mean, honestly, anything 1 to 6 looks pretty nice. Cahill's not starting now. He's hurt. And you do want to pay attention a little bit to the weather in San Francisco and the Nats game. All right, let's play around with my DK exposures for now. So I've got a ton of Indians. Only person I'm way over the field on is like Kipnis and Gomes. So let's dial those guys back after I sort this out. What do you mean, how is Tom so good? Him and Alex are both super good. That's why we have this website. That stuff's not supposed to be there. Okay, first things first, we take a look at the Indians. We need to lower the exposure for Kipnis and Yan Gomes and Chisenhall. Only the Giants and Nats game has any sort of true concerns, and I don't even see that as like a major concern. I expect them to finish the game. Yeah, I would not be trying to roster Rodon. That's not a good look. We're projecting, let's see, no ownership to Rodon, so not a direction I recommend going. All right, that should cover me for Indians exposure. Let's take a look at the Red Sox now. I don't see anybody that I need to make a major change to. I'm not too far over the field on anybody. Devers is probably a little high, and Vasquez, so I think I could rock those guys back just slightly. Take a look at the Red Sox. Because I've got 13% Devers right now. We're only projecting 4 on DK, so I'd rather go more like 11 and then maybe like 14 Vasquez instead of 19. That should spread some of my ownership out a bit. Take a look at the Cardinals. I don't have anybody there that's just outlandish. Ooh. Big time thunder here, so weather concerns for this podcast if it gets squirrely. Let's see. I don't really see any situations where I need to change Angels exposure. I probably can afford to have a little bit less than 19% Jace Peterson, though. So let's dial that back a little bit, considering we're barely projecting him on DK. So let's dial him back down from 19 to 11. Now we'll take a look at DK pitching. Thoughts on Chris Bassett? I mean, not a guy that I'm super worried about. I don't see the Royals as particularly interesting to stack against them, though. Well, there's a Snapchat from the wife at the dog park. Let's see how the puppies are doing.
Sit. Sit.
No, we're playing with the Frisbee. Fun puppies. Love those dogs. All right, pitching. I'm over the field on Blake Snell, but I'm cool with that. I'm a little bit higher on Dan Straley than I would prefer to be. So let's dial a little bit of the Dan Straley love back. I've got 26% right now. That feels excessive. I'm going to dial that to 22. I'm about even in the field on David Price, right around 30. Same for Lester. I might pull Arrieta back just slightly, but he is my dude. Go 28 Arrieta. I'm going to need to do that on FanDuel too, so same thing. I mean, for me, Rodon is one of the worst options on the board. I've only got him for 13 fantasy points. Projected for... I do have him projected for 6 Ks, but, you know, that implied total is a really tough sell for me. .2 run implied total. I think you're looking too much into this year's stats against lefties and not enough into just the logistics of it all. Minnesota Jake's lineup is out. Let's see if that's any different. Oh, man. Not playing much Twins, so Dozier, Rosario, Escobar. Looks like Grossman moved up in the line. It's all scrambled, so let's correct it. There's some big time thunder. All right, I'm gonna hit a couple of those questions quick. Christian Diaz, who's a good cash game pitcher on the day slate? Which site? That'll obviously change my answer. Jim Parrish, how much money do you put in on a day normally? Probably somewhere in like on an average day, I don't know, 400, 350, 400. On a bigger day, maybe like 7 or 8. Because I play so many lines and because it's all like scattered out, there's a little bit less risk since I'm hitting a bunch of things. Ooh, Angels lineup is out. I think it might be the same. Kinsler, Trout, Upton, Pujols, Valbuena, Cozart, Jose Miguel Fernandez, Briseño, and Hermosillo. Cool. All right. DK for the cash pitcher question. Lester, David Price. To me, Arrieta or Blake Snell. I think they're all really nice options in cash. Bankroll management tips for each slate percentage. I mean, it's different for everybody. It really depends on, like how much you're willing to put into this and how much risk you're willing to take. I always think that 10% is a relatively safe number for you. But it's really I could have a much bigger bankroll and play a much bigger amount if I thought that it was a good idea. But for right now, that's just not a focus that I want to have. I like a Snell Price combo. I think that'd be pretty nice. It'll be relatively popular. Probably the second or third most popular combo. So you might want to be careful with a ton of chalky bats then too. I mean, our opinions here at the site, if you're playing William Frazier, I'm talking to you. If you're playing in let's say you're playing in the $20 range, or even let's say you are playing in the $35 range. I don't know if you're playing on FanDuel or DK, so this would be my advice on FanDuel. I would max the quarter. That's $37.50 on FanDuel. because you'll have a much better chance of catching a lineup to the top. If you're playing like $20 on DK, I would recommend doing like $21 entries or something along those lines. We will always try to steer people towards more entries at a lower amount. Easier to win at lower stakes. All right, I think I've got enough of my exposures adjusted. I could probably knock Skaggs down a little bit. I've got him at 18. That's slightly too high. Let's put him in at 15. Let's run another DK crunch. Feel free to keep hitting me with some questions, peeps. Happy to look into whatever you want. We got nothing but time here. I'm just hanging out. Looks like I'm not getting chat windows, so let's redo that. Uh-oh, an unknown error. Okay. If there are any questions coming in from Twitch, I'm not going to see them right now. Need to transition to the FanDuel or the YouTube chat. For right now, at least. Oh man, so many questions since I stopped looking. Do I think Lester is the best early slate pitcher on FanDuel? Yes, I do. Thoughts on single entry tourneys? They're fine. I enter a bunch of single entries as well. My DK username is Josh Engelman. Lester is not very contrarian. He's projected to be the highest owned pitcher on FanDuel and tied a DK. Ooh, shout out to Tom. Didn't know you were in the chat. I appreciate that. Yeah, what Tom said is exactly right. You should absolutely be checking that out. Quite the crowd today, Tom. I'm enjoying this Saturday afternoon while our boy Jake recovers from that wedding that he went to yesterday. Still on the taco diet. I ate tacos for lunch and dinner yesterday. Well, if we're going to be technical, I made quesadillas for lunch and tacos for dinner. But let's be clear here. That's basically the same thing. Is there a big difference in the money line between cash games and GPPs in MLB? Yesterday had me wondering. Honestly, I haven't been paying too much attention to the cash line, like the cut line in 50-50s or anything like that. So I did not play tennis in high school. Makad, yeah, I am still planning on doing some Let's Plays. Probably looking at like August or September for that. Did I win yesterday? Not as much as I would have liked to. Favorite GPP pitchers and stacks? I think I just talked a lot about that. Why isn't Tom on the stream? Tom's busy. Why the hell is Rodon not showing up? Did he get pulled? Nope. I don't know. I like Eric Kratz. No. Oh, man. There you go. Tom's answer is perfect there. He's got 2 kids. A little bit different than myself, Chris, or Jake. You guys are killing. It's been a while since I've had to manage like a crap ton of questions. It also makes me wonder how in the world I ever managed a 600-person NBA chat on my own. Top stack on FanDuel, at least for me, is the Angels. But, you know, I could go a couple other ways. What's up with Rodon right now? Is he pitching? Well, apparently he is. Can I show some Price Snell lineups on DK? I most certainly can. Let me dump these in, make sure my exposures look good on DK, and then we could take a look at some individual lines. Ooh, favorite hot sauce after Secret Aardvark. That's exciting. I will have this conversation. I do have a couple. So right here, Black Rose hot sauce from Pepper Palace is my absolute favorite, just in general. Love it more than any other hot sauce that exists. I really like Dirty Dicks, aggressive branding. What else? I can't remember it. There's a green sauce they used on Hot Ones last season that's really good. I'll look up the name after we get this entered and after I get all my lines and stuff entered. Is Hansen overpriced or is he going ham today? Let's see. I have 0 Hansen, so not a direction that I would be going. Waka is not a guy that I'm getting to. Kind of weird, but yeah, no Waka for me. I think my exposures look pretty good here on DK now, so I'm gonna dump those lines in, and then we can start taking a look at like legit stuff. Yeah, I don't. Lester is very much the SP1 and a Waka Lester combo today. Yeah, I don't get this Rodon love coming off the DL in a game where he's a gigantic underdog. I'm not sure I'm seeing that one the same way as everybody else. How do you set your Excel up like this? You become a big-time Excel nerd for like your entire life, and eventually everything you do just starts looking overly ridiculous. Shout out Baseball Savant, Jake Hari's #1 website that he created solely by himself. Okay, I've got fresh lines in. So rolling back, let's look at some Snell and Price lines by request. Now, this should probably be the most chalky combination on DraftKings. You're looking at Snell projected at 17%, Price projected in the 30s. So this will be one of the more popular combos. Angels with Semien, Hoskins, and Franmil Reyes, I think looks pretty nice. We can do Orioles stacks with Price and Snell. I mean, Cardinals look really good here. You do have to make a couple concessions in your one-offs, but it's not that bad. I mean, this one right here, Wilson Contreras, Semien, and Tommy Pham as one-offs with an Orioles stack would be a direction I'd like going. What would I consider as an SP2 of Lester would be 1. So if I was playing like a GPP today, let's see. We'll go Lester, and then I'll go... I've got quite a bit of Skaggs. Let's take a look at Lester and Skaggs. I only got one line of it, but we'll see what we look like. I will be with Boston. Does it Indians? Yeah, the Indians will be the chalkiest stack of the morning. What else can we do with Lester? I mean, you can go to Lester Price or Lester Snell. They'll both be kind of... I mean, Lester Snell's not bad. Maybe Castillo. Lester and Castillo could be interesting. What do we get there? That's another Red Sox stack. Yeah, John, I mean, I've got the FanDuel stuff loaded up too. We could touch on it if we need to. Do I think San Fran will get to Gio? Probably not. Not based on that line today. What do I use to record my computer screen? There's a couple different programs you could use. I use XSplit. It just seems to work a little bit better for me, and I like the way that it like snaps windows. But you could use OBS or Streamlabs OBS. They're both free programs. Arrieta Snell. Yeah, like that's a line that I will have way more than I think the public will have. If we look at it here, you know, you could do a Red Sox stack with some one-off J up, Rhys Hoskins, Perella. I mean, there's a lot of upside there. Perella obviously has a chance to go yard. Hoskins, you know, one of the better power bats on the planet. J up, you know, not too shabby. I don't mind that Arrieta Snell combo. It's something that I'll have quite a bit. Did I already give my dong pick? No, I'll give the dong pick, I don't know, in like 20 minutes. How often do I lock 2 starting pitchers before running? I never lock anything. I take what it gives me, and then I make adjustments to my personal ownership based on what we're projecting ownership to look like for the slate. Speaking of, how the fuck do I have 8 text messages? Alrighty. $11.15. Ooh, I could add the rankings in at least. out of all the optimizers out there, which one works the best in my opinion? I mean, it's Fantasy Cruncher for me. You'll see it in every stream that I do. I've used Fantasy Cruncher from the beginning. Basically for, I don't know, 5 years or so I've been using Fantasy Cruncher. It just works. It does exactly what I need. It has the best feature set in my opinion. You know, it's not... There are others that have a better UI, but I don't think there's a better optimizer out there that has all of the features that I'm looking for. So to me, Fantasy Cruncher is as good as it gets. I've tried everything, and I've never left Fantasy Cruncher, if that helps at all. Not to say that like anybody else has a bad product or anything, but I've never found anything that makes me want to leave here. Puppies are home. That means I need to close my office door. Yeah, I'm with Tom there. I would not want to use Fantasy Cruncher just blindly with their own projections. But I'm one that I don't like playing without creating my own stuff. Great point from Tom. You do not want to just roll into an optimizer and take whatever the first line is that it spits out. That'll be not advantageous. At least not for you. Why the fuck is that copying so weird? Doesn't matter. Where does a novice go to get projections? You learn how to build them, man. It might be something I explore doing a little like tutorial down the line. I started my NBA projections based on the simple projection system that's on Basketball Reference. If you search around for it, you can get a link there. I just slowly learned how to recreate what they had, and then transitioned my methods from that to baseball. Any Braves tonight? No. No Braves tonight. Can I do my dong picks? Okay, let's do a dong pick. I'll include the 12 o'clock game. So I'll do dong pick for just the early slate. I'll say I'm willing to go with... Give me Kendrys Morales as my dong pick. Yeah, like if you want to do projections for baseball, you can do it as simply as like running a regression on isolated power for hitters and on-base percentage and get to something generic and then slowly but surely build and build and build and build. What else you guys got for me? I guess we could take a little bit of a look at FanDuel. I'll have a bunch of jock, that's for sure. Drew, I don't do more than one dong pick. water is damn tasty. I'm sure Tom is typing right now, but Duncan, I could sort of answer for that. If you're playing a lot of lines, you're going to get to some stacks that aren't necessarily, let's say, quote unquote, popular. Like, for example, the A's have the 12th most ownership for me on DK, but I probably have like one or two lines of Semien, Pinder, Davis, Chapman, or something like that. It's all about trying to get unique combinations. That's why I'm entering like a couple different tournaments. I want to play unique lines all over the place so that I maximize my chances of winning some tournament. That's why I play, and that's why Tom will play so many unique lineups. Because of the payout structure, you want to try and get yourself at the top because of the exponential drop-off. Can I show people the Osmo Stack article today? Sure. You're the boss. Wait, we have a... Wait, oh, the top percentage stack? Tom, do you mean the one that we just put out? Okay. I didn't know if you meant like a... what's that? One of the primer articles. So this is a look into Awesome. One of the features of Premium. Osmo puts out a few different articles that have a similar vibe to this one. In this case today, it's the top stack percentage. Sometimes it's a percentage chance of being like the top pitcher. So for right now, this is what we have. And I won't read through this area. People could read it, I guess, while it's on the screen. So what we're trying to do here is find out which teams have the best chance of being the top stack for a day. The reason you stack is you're looking to corner the market on outlier performances, because so many of baseball's stats correlate with each other. Like if a guy goes yard, you could have two or three guys from that stack getting points off of someone else's home run. So in this case, what we're looking at, this would be who's going to be the top stack on DK. So we're saying an 11% chance that Cleveland is the top stack, 10% chance that Boston is the top stack, 8% chance that St. Louis is the top stack. And what you want to try to do is compare that to how much ownership teams are getting. And that's what Alex will be talking about here at the top. Cleveland's chance of being the top stack is 11%. They're getting an 11% share of the ownership. So they're basically owned, where you would expect them to be. Where you get into interesting stuff, and you'll see it up here for Oakland and Baltimore. Oakland has an 8% chance of being the top stack. That's fifth. Baltimore, 7%. But they're both projected to be owned a little bit less than that. Baltimore's prices are a little lower, so it looks like Baltimore has the best chance of being the top value. So highest performing stack relative to salary. It makes Oakland... Yeah, why did I say it like that? Oakland. It's not even where my accent is from. It makes teams like Oakland and Baltimore a little bit undervalued from an ownership perspective because we think that they have a better chance of popping off today. You can see that from this top one. So I'll read this off. Oakland and Baltimore both have solid team projections with about 2/3 of the chance of being the top scoring stack compared to Cleveland. But you're getting them for half the ownership. This is a spot where I think ownership is inefficient because both teams have 1.5 times the chance of being the top fantasy team, but with less than average ownership. So some sleeper stacks you could be looking at, Oakland and Baltimore. But this is the sort of stuff, this is the next level stuff that we're providing. I've never seen this sort of content anywhere else where people are digging into chances of stacks compared to ownership. I believe that we have the best ownership projections that I've seen used anywhere. A lot of the publicly available ownership stats are not good whatsoever. But yeah, circling back for what Tom's saying, that's why Seattle was relatively popular, because Baltimore is in the best spot in my opinion as like a under-owned stack that could be good. They popped up quite a bit for me in those price plus Snell lines. Yeah, Dylan. We pointed out Bauer yesterday. I guess we could no harm in going back to that one. Just so people can understand, we're not just making this stuff up as we go along. This was the perfect pitcher from last night. And you'll see... Where is it? Okay, a couple sleepers I'm also on. J.A. Happ and Trevor Bauer, who are overpriced for their talent level but still project well. We were projecting so much ownership to Sale, but his chances of being the best pitcher were significantly lower. But you'll see here, we were projecting 1% ownership for Bauer, but we were saying that he had a 17% chance of being one of the top 2 pitchers on DK. That gap means that you should definitely be rostering Bauer as a contrarian option more in tournaments because it gives you a much better chance of having that outlier performance. These are the sort of things that we're putting out regularly. Almost every day, Awesemo is putting out an article like this of premium content, and no one else is doing what we're doing, at least not to my knowledge. So that's the sort of stuff you're getting and plus you're still getting rankings, ownership projections, the free content we put out, videos. I mean, it's a lot. John, if you subscribe for the year, it'll be a year to the day. So you'll have everything that we put out for a calendar year. So I'm going to hop back to that Stacks article and see where I'm screwing up for tonight. Not playing too much. It's the weekend. I'm comfortable. So I obviously have a lot of Cleveland. I have a lot of Boston and St. Louis. But I do get to a decent amount of Orioles as a secondary stack. I do get a decent amount of Angels, which I think is close. I should probably bump up a little bit more Oakland. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll give an Oakland boost. Drew N really loves Alan Hansen tonight. God, that water is like the most refreshing water I've ever had in my entire life. What stakes do I tend to play? For right now, I'll max generally lower stakes as much as I can. Depending on the day and the slate size, I sometimes get into the $4 150 entry on FanDuel. I bounce into that from time to time. But mostly, I'm not totally confident in my baseball model yet. So I don't want to ramp up until I have a little bit more of a data set. Baseball's been going well. I've got a double-digit ROI on the season, so I can't complain, but I don't want to just unleash it. I've got a finance background, so when it comes to like the logistics of tracking my bankroll and making moves, I'm inherently data-driven there. So it looks like for me, my the biggest things that I'll need are Blake Snell this morning, Jake Arrieta, and Tyler Skaggs. Ooh. Did I mention the stack combos I like the best? I agree with the chalk today. Indians, Red Sox, Cardinals. And then based on Alex's article, I'd say that the A's and Orioles look good as the sleepers. What did I do in finance? Coming out of college, I went and worked for a credit union for a couple of years. Then I transitioned into the biotech industry. I did financial work for a CRO. I worked for the University of North Carolina, Wilmington for a little bit. And then I decided all of that stuff sucked. And I wanted to do this. And I got lucky enough that Tom and Alex were like, yeah, come do it here. So I did. Realized that I would prefer to be happy every day. It's weird. Duncan. Oh, best stack combos. Every day is different. The size of the slate will determine sort of how aggressively you should be stacking. So like on a 15-game slate on FanDuel, I'm going to have a 4-4, maybe 4-3-1 if my pitcher is involved. On DK, on a day like today, you can go 2 stacks or maybe like a 5-2-1, something along those lines. Trent Bossingham, is this for the 12:05 start? Yeah, basically. I mean, I'm not going to stick around for 2 hours. I think we covered most of what we need to hit on today. DJ Dog, did I take a pay cut to do DFS as my job? Because I don't mind talking about it, sort of. It might all come out in the wash in the end, but I'm lucky enough to have an exceptional wife who does really well in her career. So, shout out to wifey. My wife is my sugar mama, so to speak. Last time I switched careers, I made a move for significantly more money, and all it did was make me more stressed and less happy. So I did the inverse, and all it did was make me less stressed and more happy. So it's all about just finding the things that work for you. If you want to eat ramen every day, but you find the job that you love, like sometimes that's better than just having a bunch of money and no time to do anything with it. Thanks, DJ. I love that people are interacting with HIV positive transgender and calling him HIV in the chat like it's not weird. Oh, if I take down the Millie Maker, you won't see me for like a week. Do I have a favorite pitcher today, Trent? I guess I'd probably have to answer Arrieta. He's the guy that I'm over the field the most on. Arrieta or Snell? All right, let's do like 5 more minutes if you guys got any more questions, and then I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Not too much to talk about. Love David Price today. I'm not in the minority there. Day by day, I'm trying to forget more and more about my finance background. Going to college and getting that degree was the biggest waste of time ever. Thank God I enjoyed college, or I would be really depressed about it. Any cheap guys to build around, as in bats? I mean, like an Oriole, I think an Oriole stack would be probably the direction I would want to go there. John, I like that quite a bit. Honestly, Spencer, I've never looked into modeling ownership projections. That would be more of a Tom question, and I don't get the sense that we're going to be giving out too many ingredients for that one. Would I pair Snell and Arrieta in a one-off lineup? Absolutely. Snell at projected 17%, Arrieta at 16%. That's a very, very unique combo, in my opinion. You go that way, you're looking at only basically, maybe let's say 3% of the field should have that. You're looking at like a 1 in 33 combo for pitching. You can go ahead and have a relatively chalky, Indian stack with some nice one-offs there. Or, maybe Red Sox. Or actually, you can probably grab the nut Cardinals with, let's look at it. Let's look at Snell. This will be the last thing we'll do. We'll look at Snell and Arrieta on DraftKings. So let's lock Snell. There's Arrieta. Let's lock Snell. And we'll do 20 lines and we'll see what comes up here. But I think the Cardinals will look really good. You should be able to get like the nut Cardinal stack. Yeah. Yeah, so if you did Arrieta and Snell, you can go Molina, Carpenter, Fowler, Ozuna, Pham is great. Jordy Mercer at shortstop is fine. Leadoff hitter. And then you can get Edwin Encarnacion and Nunez. I mean, that's a really nice high upside lineup, in my opinion, for a one-off. Why is Oakland stack under the radar? They're up against Duffy. Yeah, we're just not projecting a ton of ownership there. If I hop over to the A's, it's more of a price thing than anything else. They don't have the best price point on DK today. They're actually really nice on FanDuel. If it was there, it'd be nice. Alrighty, guys. That's going to be it for me. It's about an hour. I think we're good. People are trailing off in the chat a little bit. Yeah, Arrieta Lester works. Best of luck, guys. I'll be back tonight for the Night Shift podcast again. Jake will be your dude for tomorrow. I will be off in the morning. You'll get Jake and myself again on Monday morning. So, best of luck, everybody. Enjoy this early slate. And I'll talk to you guys tonight. Indirectly, I guess. Later on, everybody.